Yo, everybody, what's up? Terrell here from Terrell Game Vlogs. Sorry about this review being kind of late. I had to work today. I was kind of burnt out, which is why this video will probably be uploaded at 2 days after the fact. So I apologize in advance, and I'll probably upload a video right after this talking about the 2-episode synopsises for the rest of the season that were not leaked, but I guess the term would be posted in like the magazine and whatnot. Right now, we're going to talk about my teen romantic comedy SNAFU season 2, episode 11, and to me this episode is really just an outlining of, first off, you get this. It's kind of weird now because you have to kind of expect Hikigaya and Yui. Particularly Yuki Noshita and Hikigaya kind of put me on the fence about their reactions to things, because they've changed, their reactions to certain things have changed. So even though I could go, well, that's Hikigaya's stereotypical reaction to situation A, it's like, well, that's not technically how he's going to react now versus what he would have usually said. Certain gags have completely gone away. I think the one thing I didn't mention before is that Totsuka's gag is completely gone. I do like this episode for Totsuka, though, because it really shows that he has changed, because I think that earlier this season you had that Zymokusa scene during the whole election stuff, and it showed how much you relied on Zymokusa, but it was like, you and Totsuka are supposed to be boys, and you don't really talk to Totsuka about shit. So the fact that he was willing to have Totsuka do him that favor, I thought was a lot of growth for him. And I actually liked it because it was kind of it's a good Totsuka Hachiman moment that isn't shrouded in homosexual undertones. So that's one of the reasons why I liked it. But as I said, like, Yuki Noshita and Hachiman have like two different, like, their personalities have changed enough now to where they give different reactions. For example, she's going out there bringing him cans of coffee, rocking the glasses and the oven mitts that Yui and him gave her. And what was the other thing? And then her response, like when her and Yumiko were arguing, and Yui's like, calm down, and Hachiman's like, you too, and she's like, I'm used to this, but as long as my friends close to me understand, then it's fine. And you're like, that's interesting. Also, she's smiling more consistently now, which is very interesting, actually. But the episode really isn't revolving around Yumiko being less annoying than usual. Literally, this is like the best she's been. And ironically, it's when she's all salty and shit because she thinks somebody has a crush on someone. Also, for some reason, I thought it was really funny that Aroha, even being rejected, the first thing she does when she hears about a rumor about Yuki Noshita and Hayama, she's like, you dating Hayama senpai? And you're just like, wow, Aroha, girls are cutthroat. They don't give a fuck. They'll just ask you straight up. They don't give a damn. Now, I have heard that a lot of people are kind of mad at this episode, primarily because, for those who are curious, the light novel for SNAFU currently is at volume 10, with 11 currently on the way. Well, volume 10 was covered in one episode, and there's a lot of stuff that they cut out. Now, from what I've seen that they've cut out, most of it is stuff I really don't mind being cut out. I think the only thing I'm kind of salty about is apparently there was more Saki and Zymokusa scenes and shit like that. So apparently there are certain aspects that were completely cut out that you're just kind of sitting there going, but it's more like a minor inconvenience. Like, it doesn't seem like it took away from the main points, because they still addressed the main points. And then you also have your infirmary scene, which is the scene that everybody who read the light novels was going on about in the fucking comments. It was like, oh my god, can't wait until I get to the infirmary scene. No, it's like no one even talks about any of the Hayama shit. Every time I heard about volume 10 from the light novel readers, it was always, oh my god, the infirmary scene, the infirmary scene. And why is that? It's because it's a Yuki Noshita moment, and the Yuki Noshita fan base is so motherfucking strong right now. Even though, from what I heard, the volume 10.5 really pushed the Aroha camp up, so people were shipping the fuck out of that. Let's just get to the main draw for this episode, which was the Hayama. And really, the gist of it is that Hayama is starting to kind of buckle under the pressure of being Hayama. and is looking for an out, but isn't openly admitting that he's looking for an out, but is making it relatively obvious to people like Hachiman that you're totally you're totally looking for an out, man. You're looking for a way to get out of the situation that you don't want to be in. See, Hayama doesn't suffer from main character syndrome. Although I find it kind of ironic because the way Hayama as a character acts, he reminds me of like a stereotypical shonen main character, in the sense that he doesn't want to like make anyone. He wants to be equal on equal terms with everybody, and he doesn't want to make one choice knowing it'll hurt someone else. Which is kind of how I think he feels with Yumiko and Iroha specifically. It's like you can't, you have to reject Iroha, but at the same time, you can never get with Yumiko because of that. Like he's kind of he's trying to fit the mold that everyone wants him to be, and it's like, if I do that, then no one will be mad. But like he doesn't understand that's just another form of selfishness. You're doing that because you want to avoid making a choice, even though you think that you are making a choice. And so he's expressing his, I want to be something else. I don't want to be the everybody's guy. I want to just be my. I'm tired of the pressure that this brings me. And Hachiman's like, I think I get you. And so he tries to give him an out. Like, he does it in a Hachiman-esque way, which I love, because when the OST came on, when he fucking started antagonizing Hayama, it was fucking great. And then Hayama's like, but I hate you. And you're just sitting there like, we all knew that Hayama didn't like Hikigayas, because and it's weird, because Hayama says shit in a roundabout way as if he doesn't want you to realize that he feels a certain way, but he does like a terrible job of hiding it because he does it way too fucking consistently for you not to get it. And it's just like, and if you notice, he still does that even when he's around Hachiman. Like, he's kind of over with Hachiman. That's the funny thing is, as much as he talks about how he doesn't like Hachiman and he doesn't like how the way Hachiman does things, it's like, but the whole thing about you talking about how Iroha shows you that side of herself, which Hayama is aware of. That was the other thing that's interesting. Hayama's aware of a lot more than he lets on. And sometimes he realizes he's just playing ignorant for the fuck of it. Like, Hayama, for some reason, feels like he's not, that he rather do things his own way. But his own way is inherently flawed by the fact that it's based behind selfishness. You're doing this to avoid making a choice, but you like to act like not making a choice is the choice itself. And so, like, when Hikigai's like, fine, if you want to be a self-serving piece of shit, that's whatever. Here's an out for you. He's like Hikigai's like, here, look, you can take this route and become the guy you want to become without burning all the bridges you built on the way. Hayama's like, I'm not going to do that. And, and Hikigai's like, why? And he's like, because, first off, I don't like losing to you, even though he's already lost to Hikigai. In every way, actually, I would argue. Like, Hayama has never beaten Hikigaya, at least in terms of personality traits and morality and, ways of handling things. Hayama has almost inherently always been wrong, which I find kind of funny considering, as I said, he reminds me a lot of a shonen main character with that. Hikigaya is just kind of like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? And so as much as they talk about how they hate each other, they're really similar because they both have flawed perspectives and they're both stubborn. The difference is Hachiman's at least making some sense of trying to change versus Hayama, who's just being fucking stubborn and being unrealistically stubborn as if he doesn't realize the truth of the matter. He doesn't understand the inherent flaw within his mindset and his choices, that no matter which route he goes, he's still going to lose. He's not going to get what he wants. SNAFU is based in reality. The only way he would get what he wants is if this was some unrealistic harem bullshit, which is not. So Hayama wants to play this everyman thing, but no human being can do it. Or maybe he thinks he can do it. Or maybe he just views himself that he will do it because he refuses to give in to the reality of the situation. It's kind of like Hachiman. Hachiman's always been kind of a pessimist and a realist. Hayama's more of an idealist in that way, which is how they contrast. The way they're similar is that they're stubborn. They're both stubborn about their choices, and they both believe what they believe. And I find it hilarious that Hayama, for all his fucking talk and bullshit, he still ends up losing in the long run anyway. Because if you think about it, Hachiman still got you to do something, got you to change your entire opinion because he tried to give you an out. Because I wonder if Hachiman hadn't said anything about sciences, choosing sciences, would he have still not chosen sciences out of like spite? Because that's what it came off as. You just chose something else that would have given you an out of spite. It's like he wants to be the everyman, and he wants to be that guy. He wants to be the happy smiles, everybody comes to me with their problems guy. But he's tired of that shit. He's openly tired of the bullshit. But he feels like because he's the one who can do it. And I feel like everything he's doing also is just him crying out for Hachiman, I need you to break me down. I think he's waiting for Hachiman to break him down because they're going to fight. I would be fucking surprised if Hachiman and Hayama don't fight by the end of the light novel. They will fucking fight. I'm actually waiting on it. I was hoping it was going to happen at the end of the first season. Because the first season was kind of building to it. The second season is outright teasing it. It's like these two are going to butt heads and fight. And I mean like fist fight. Because what eventually this is going to lead into is he's going to find out some shit. Haruno's is going to be probably Haruno's fault. And he's going to build off of that. And he's going to antagonize the shit out of Hayama. And he's going to bust Hayama out in front of everybody. And Hayama's going to lose his shit. And he will be forced to change. And I hope that comes. And if it doesn't, I will be saddened. And if it does come, I hope it gets animated. I'm not going to really talk about... Well, I'm not going to go into like super kawaii desu mode over the infirmary scene. All I'll say is that the fucking romance aspect of it is getting pushed a lot heavier than... Like, if you notice, the Yukinoshita seems to get the more, like, holy shit near romance scenes. Well, actually, her and Yui have been getting... Well, she's been getting more often now, along with Yui. And the interesting thing about it is that you're like, are we going to get into that war? And I don't think we're going to yet. And the problem is that they still have this problem with, you know, Yukinoshita, her mother, her family issues. She's more comfortable with Hachiman and Yui now, but I still feel like there's a few walls we got to break down. And a few of them will probably be broken down with the romance thing, because the problem is, I always thought that if SNAFU was going to approach the romance, it would wait until like it broke down all the issues within friendship, and then have Yui and Yukinoshita go through a sense of trial and tribulation with the fact that they both are crushing on the same guy. Because let's be honest, Aroha, Kawasaki, and any other girl who wants Hachiman's D does not matter in this series. Which is why I don't really mind them taking out the elements that make it more like traditional anime. Because it kind of doesn't fit with SNAFU's other themes. I mean, I would enjoy it regardless, but I'm just saying. It kind of clashes with the themes, but then again, some people will find it entertaining. But people who don't find this entertaining, you probably are super positive and you don't really like looking at the bad side of humanity. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Overall, the episode is good. The next video I will upload will talk about the two synopsises for the next two episodes, which may or may not be from Volume 11, which no one knows because Volume 11 isn't out in Japan yet. So we don't know if these next two episodes are from Volume 11 or if they're like filler OVA shit. One, they kind of seem like they are, but we don't know. But please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game. Play to win. And I will catch you got later. Oh, later. Oh, later. Oh, later.